Scorpio is of course represented by the scorpion in the zodiacal menagerie of mascots. The way the glyph or the symbol for Scorpio is written is intended to depict the segmented body of the scorpion with the little stinger tail at the end. This is a reference to the Greek myth related to the zodiac sign Scorpio, which goes like this. Once upon a time, the hunter Orion was obsessed with the goddess Artemis. She's into dudes, but Orion was a creeper who wouldn't take no for an answer, and he tried to force her to be with him anyway. Artemis is a goddess of wild lands and a protector of animals, so she asked the most badass animal friend she had for some help. This is when Scorpios the scorpion enters the arena. Orion relied on brute force to overpower and kill animals as a hunter. He was plenty capable of wrestling bears or wolves or shooting them with a bow and arrow. The scorpion was small and no match for Orion's aggressiveness or physical prowess, but Scorpios had skills the hunter didn't have, like stealth and cunning. Scorpios used tactical strategy instead of brute force. He dodged Orion's arrows and attacks, waiting until the hunter had exhausted himself. And when Orion finally gave up and turned to leave, the scorpion snuck up on him and stung him. Some versions of the myth say Scorpios slayed Orion by himself. Others say it was Artemis who took Orion out with her bow and arrow after he was incapacitated by the scorpion's venom. Either way, she was grateful for the help and gave Scorpios a place of immortal honor among the stars as a constellation. Constellations to the ancient Greeks were kind of like a hall of fame where people or animals who did extraordinary things or played some important role in the mythos were given a place of privileged memorialization in the stars. This myth brings to light how misunderstood the zodiac sign Scorpio truly is. The story contains themes that are often associated with this zodiac sign, like obsession, power struggles, and sexual transgression or threats against personal safety and boundaries. And yet Scorpios is not the one perpetrating these things. He's actually the hero who slays the obsessive domineering villain. And this is something that is very true to life. The zodiac sign Scorpio often has to deal with conflict that they did not ask for and did not invite. They get accused of being sort of shady and cutthroat, but this is rarely something that originates within them. It tends to be a defensive reaction against intense antagonistic forces and circumstances beyond the Scorpio's control. Because of these experiences, they develop a bit of a ruthless, tough exterior and a pragmatic ability to do whatever needs to be done to survive. With their understanding of these darker sides of life, they have this incredible power of their own to be a force for good. Artemis didn't ask an innocent bunny rabbit for help against Orion because that would have been useless. She asked the scorpion because of his ability to be a bit calculating and cold-blooded. Not all Scorpios are assassins, I hope, but this sign carries that exacting precision to follow through with a mission by any means necessary. You can count on a Scorpio to get it done, to fearlessly face challenges that others may be too weak to endure, and to be fiercely loyal to the people they care about. So now I'm going to get into a little bit about the animal characteristics themselves and how they apply to this zodiac sign. Scorpions are not overtly aggressive animals. They're defensive in nature. If you don't bother a scorpion, they're not going to go out of their way to sting you. In the same way, Scorpio is not an aggressive sign. They have a cliched reputation for being intimidating, but they prefer to just be left to their own devices, and if you don't bother them, they won't bother you. The scorpion also molts several times throughout their life. They shed their exoskeleton and spend a period of time where they are extremely vulnerable and sensitive, and they'll hide themselves away or try to avoid contact with predators while they are regrowing their new exoskeleton, which perfectly depicts this zodiac sign's association with the metaphorical death and rebirth of self-transformative processes. Scorpios will tend to go through these periodic evolutions over the course of their life, where there is a crisis or a destruction or a metaphorical death, followed by a dark night of the soul in which they're processing the emotional fallout from that experience. And eventually that fortifies them and transforms them into a stronger version of themselves, which blossoms on the other side of the process with renewed vigor and determination, at which point they are able to start again fresh. It evokes the concept of catharsis. Our English word catharsis is derived from the ancient Greek catharsi, which was a ritual of purification and healing. Ancient astrologers linked intense processes like this to Scorpio, in part because of the season during which the sun travels through this zodiac sign. If you'd like to learn more about the energy of Scorpio season and how it influences your sign, you can check out my other video titled Scorpio Season, linked in the description. The ancient Greeks believed that when a person experienced some kind of traumatic ordeal, it created a rift in the universe or an imbalance in the natural correct order of things. And so that person would be tasked with repairing the energetic damage and restoring a sense of peace or harmony in the grand scope of things. The catharsis ritual itself would be different for everyone depending on what they had endured in the first place, but the goal was always to literally or figuratively wash oneself clean of the past trauma, heal, and by doing so, set things right with the universe. A tall order, but no sign is better equipped for such an important quest than the brave and enduring Scorpion. Thank you so much for listening, Scorpio. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, comment if you have any questions, share this with your friends or other Scorpios in your life, and please subscribe. I would be so happy to have you with me.